What's up, guys? I'm Makai Block. This is Limitless North. You're watching Millionaire Success Habits right now. I want to talk with you about a success habit that I've implemented in my life about visualizing your ideal life. Now, this is one habit that if you implement it in your life, it can change everything for you. This is such a useful technique that it has spurred men to go from a low level of life to a high level of achievement, to become everything that they desire to be, to achieve their real goals and desires. And if you do this in your life, you'll quickly find yourself actually beginning to move towards the life that you want. So many men live lives of quiet desperation. They are just in agony because they don't want to be in the position that they're at. They don't want the life that they have. They don't want to experience what they experience. They want more. Does this sound familiar? Because it did to me, and it did consistently to me for so many years. You desire and burn for something more out of life, and yet you don't know quite how to get it, and you don't know how to put your finger on it. And the reason is, in one large degree, is that most people don't ever take the time to define what that life should actually be for them. And so if you don't have a target that you're aiming at, how will you ever hit it? You won't. You'll just sit there looking for something, bouncing from thing to thing to thing, never knowing what you're truly going after, never knowing what you want to be pursuing, just knowing that it's out there and somehow it's elusive and it's eluding you. But of course it's elusive if you don't define it, if you can't pin it down and stare it straight in the eye and say, that is what I want out of this life. You're never going to achieve what you want out of this life. And so your desires will overwhelm you, they'll well up inside of you, and they'll just turn you into someone who lives a life of quiet desperation, always kicking against yourself, always in agony, always wanting something you can't have. So I want to teach you how to visualize the ideal life. You know, this is a concept that gets talked about so much by so many successful people, and it's a very poignant part of Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. If you haven't read that book, I highly encourage you to delve into that and really spend some time going through that. That book has the ability to change your life and change the course of your life as well. But what Napoleon Hill talks about in this principle is to visualize the life that you want and spend 30 minutes daily just dreaming of who you desire to be, of what you want your life to look like. Because if you can envision it, now all of a sudden you can define it and you can begin moving towards it. And the more that we focus on something, the more able we are to actually achieve it. You know that thoughts become things, and that may be a strange statement to you. Thoughts become things. What does that truly mean? Well, what we think about, we focus on. And what we focus on, we become. And so we become what we think about most of the time. And thoughts become things because they become an idea. They start out as just an ethereal idea. But as we begin to put meat on that skeleton, on that idea, and form it into something, we can now hold this idea in our mind's eye. We can visualize something almost tangible. And what we begin to focus on inside of our visualization and what we desire to create, we then just get overwhelmed with and consumed with because we want it. And so we start to create it on the outside. And that's what people are talking about when they say that you can manifest your success, you can manifest money into your life, or you can manifest a better life. It's not some magical thing that you just hope for something and then it comes. It's not that at all. You manifest it by focusing on it, by desiring it, and by using your imagination, your creative inspiration to find ways to define it for yourself. And once it's defined, you can begin to achieve it. And not only that, but when you're so focused on something, you can't help but see it come to fruition through your actions, through your hopes, through your wants, through the things that you do every day, through the steps that you take, through the opportunities that you begin to recognize and notice. It's just as if the universe brings all this to us, but that's not the truth. The truth is it's always there, but as we begin to seek it, we'll find it. You have to know what it is you're seeking, and as you begin to look, you'll see the opportunities all around you. And you'll see that they were always there for your taking the entire time. You just never knew what it was you were supposed to pay attention to. And so visualize the life that you want. There's a couple of ways to do this, and I'm going to try and just go through all of them for you. But you see, I have started to do that, and it changed my entire life when I could begin to define the life that I wanted for myself. And I could begin to put down on paper specific goals that I wanted to achieve, things that I wanted to experience, travel that I wanted to do, income that I wanted to make. I began to take steps towards those things, and I began to realize the life that I truly wanted. Now, I've always been a pretty happy guy and always got a lot out of life and out of every moment and situation, but I didn't always get what I wanted. I just took what was available, and the change was that I all of a sudden knew what I wanted, and I could begin to force and shape my motives and my actions to fit that path to take me where I wanted to go in life, to get what I wanted out of my experiences, to have new experiences that I never would have had just sitting by passively. And so one way that you should visualize your life is what I talked about from Napoleon Hill, is spend 30 minutes every day dreaming up, just in a quiet place, sitting down, dreaming up who you want to be. This should be your character, your integrity, the kind of man or woman that you desire to be, that you envision yourself as a perfect self. Who would you be? What would that look like? What kind of company would you keep? What would you do with your time? What would you do for work? What would you do for income? What kind of income would you have? What would you dress like? And you're just visualizing a very specific version of you. And this helps build self-confidence, because now you have an image of who you truly are inside. Because what we can envision on the inside of who we are, we can realize that that is who we are deep down, longing to become, which means that we already are that person. We just need to step into it and own it, because whatever we can dream up in our head, we can actually create, and we can actually become. So what you envision of yourself as your perfect self, as your best self, full of confidence, full of love, full of passion, full of knowledge, full of culture and wisdom and kindness. That's already who you are if you would just become that person. And so if you spend 30 minutes every day just quietly dreaming of your best self and who you want to be and the kind of life you want to live, that's one way to visualize your life. Another way that I would pose to you is sit down with a journal, a notebook that you're proud to write in, something leather bound preferably, and write out 100 of your goals, of your top goals for your life that you can just wish that you could accomplish in a lifetime. If your life was as good as it could possibly be, what would that look like? And begin to write out those goals. And they don't have to be anything specific to you. Just write out whatever comes to your mind. And if you don't like it and you don't think that's a worthy goal, cross it out later. But this is a brainstorming session to get what's on our inside out, so that we're not experiencing that desperation, that frustration, that agony of I don't know what I want out of life, but it's not this. No, now we're getting that out and we're putting it on paper. Everything that you want, everything that you might want out of life, put that down, write it out. These are things like, what kind of car do you want to drive? Where do you want to live in the world? What do you want to experience? Do you want to travel? Where would you go? What kind of income do you want to make? What kind of job do you want to have? What kind of spouse do you want? What would a great year look like to you? Are you traveling a lot? Are you camping? Are you getting out surfing? Are you active? Are you, reading books quietly in a house that you love? Just start to detail these things that drive you, that when you think about them, your heart just says, yeah, that's what I want. And as you write these things down, you'll notice that you get more and more inspired to write more and more, and life begins to feel exciting all of a sudden, because you're dreaming up your best life possible. And when you do this, you now have goals to shoot for. And again, I said you can cross out the ones that truly aren't your deepest desires, but you should have about 100 goals laid out that you're like, if I had the best life possible, that's what I would have. That's what it would look like. That's the kind of clothes I would wear. That's the kind of person I would be. That's the kind of friends I would keep. The kind of events I would attend. The kind of impact I would have through my work. The kind of things that I would do passionately and creatively. And as you define that, you begin to say, that's what I want my life to look like, so how do I now get there? How do I start taking steps to make my life more of that and less of what's just driving me crazy? So you want to visualize your life. That's another way that you can do it. One more way is truly just to sit quietly at the end of each day and just say, who am I now and who do I want to be, and how is what I'm experiencing right now lining up with what I truly want out of life? What things shouldn't be in my life that are? And so you can start to pare away certain things that are in your life that you don't want in your life, that aren't serving you, that aren't driving you towards your ultimate goals, your ultimate vision for yourself. But what you truly want is a life well thought out. well planned. And life will never turn out exactly as we plan it, and we need to be okay with that. We need to live lives with open hands, right? That's part of just understanding how the world works. And for me, I'm a Christian. That's the most important part of my life, and understanding that God gives all of these gifts. And they're not so that I can hold on to them tightly and just say, yeah, I finally have something in my life that I want. I'm never letting it go. It's no. That's a beautiful blessing, and I am going to live with open hands because God can give and He can take away and He can do what He's going to do with my life, but I'm moving towards the things that I feel He's inspired me towards and blessed me with and given me a passion for. And as He gives them, I keep them open in my hands, and I look around and I say, how can I bless others with what I've been blessed with? How can I share this with other people in my life? And how can I encourage them or give them something they don't have that I now have, that I didn't have before? And how can I remember where I came from to bless others, to do good for other people, to change their lives and impact their lives as my life has been changed and impacted? So we want to live our lives with open hands and realize that our absolute goals and plans for our lives will never happen the exact way that we desire for them to, because things will change and they'll look different as we accomplish one thing. That will change who we are and what we feel and what we experience, and so that may change a whole array of other things we thought we wanted. Or we may need to count the cost of achieving certain things in our life and realize that I could get that if I wanted it, but what would I sacrifice on the way? What values would I sacrifice in order to get this one value that I hold as important right now? So we live our lives with open hands, realizing that we're not going to have everything exactly as we want it, but we can have a lot of what we want out of life. And the more that we define it, and the more that we're intentional with our actions stepping towards those things, the more that we're actually going to experience them in our lives and see those results and actually achieve what we want out of our lives. And so in this Millionaire Success Habit, I encourage you to start visualizing the life that you want, and to quit being so frustrated with the life that you don't want. If you live from a place of negativity, that's all you're going to experience is negativity. And so you want to live from a place of abundance where you're excited and impassioned about what you could get out of life, what you are becoming, what you will become, who you truly are deep down, not what you're experiencing right now. You see, success is not dependent on external circumstances, but more so on our internal environment. And so we may not see the results we want in our external circumstances right now, but if we become successful in who we are and the way that we think and our habits and our actions, the results will follow. And so you want to live from a place of positivity, excited about what you can get out of life, about what your life could become, rather than out of a place of lack and scarcity. You want to live out of a place of abundance, not fear. And not scarcity, because as you experience abundance, as you believe in abundance, you move towards that in your life. But if you're just focused on the negative things, the life that you don't want, the frustration that you're experiencing about all these things in life that you wish weren't there, if you just focus on that, that's going to make you a more negative person, and then it puts you in this downward spiral where you can't get out of the hole that you've dug yourself. But if you think positively and you lift yourself up and you say, I'm going to get out of this, I'm going to change my life because I know what I want my life to look like, and I will take every step necessary to change my life to being something that I enjoy rather than something I'm frustrated with. So if you want more joy out of life, define the life that you want, and then look at your circumstances and say, how can I make the most out of these circumstances? How can I love better despite what I experience? How can I be happier despite what makes me typically upset or angry? How do I just forget about that part and try and be happy in the moment, try and impact people and add more value and be more valuable in general, and thus increase my self-worth, my self-value, my self-esteem, increase the amount that I'm valuable to other people so that I have a worth from that? How do I experience God's love in the moments rather than just wishing that life was different? Because life can be different, but only through action, not through wishing and wanting and waiting. If you want things to change, you've got to change. So I really hope that this encourages you and inspires you. This is a habit that if you implement in your life, it can begin to change everything for you, because you're all of a sudden defining what you truly want. And so I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to sit down this week and spend 30 minutes, whether it's every day or even once in the week. Just spend 30 minutes dreaming up who you want to become, what life would look like if it were perfect and ideal. Visualize that ideal life for yourself and then write it out. Write out the thoughts that you have, the steps that you would take to make that happen, and everything can change for you. So I truly hope this inspires you. I'm Kai Block with Limitless North. As we go through this series of Millionaire Success Habits, you're going to get a lot of great content. You're going to be inspired to change. I'm going to give you action steps to take. I want you to implement those. And then furthermore, I want you to join the full program of Millionaire Success Habits that I'll have up on the website. There will be a link in the description below when that's ready to go. And I want to go deep with you on these. I really want to see the life change happen because it changed my life and it will change yours. So thanks for watching. I'm Kai Block with Limitless North, and I'll see you on the next one. God bless you guys. Catch you soon. Hi, I'm Kai Block. Welcome to Limitless North TV. I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You might ask yourself, why should I? Every week, I'll be developing and delivering quality videos focused on helping you become a high-value, high-achieving entrepreneur, to earn more and increase your income, to build and grow your wealth, and to make insightful and impactful changes to the way that you live your life and run your businesses. You will be challenged. You will be inspired. I will motivate you to hit that next level in your life, to overcome your obstacles, and to quit struggling through your mediocrity. But most importantly, I'll be developing and delivering strategies and ideas, tips, tricks, habits, and tools that you can begin implementing in your life today to see the success and the change that you've been hoping for. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so you don't miss a single episode, and I will see you on the next one. I guarantee you, and I promise you, that you won't regret it. Welcome to Limitless North.